In today's tutorial we're going to be looking at the diamond mesh stitch. So this is a perfect stitch for things like fruit and vegetable bags or crochet shopping bags. I have whipped up this quick swatch here. It's not used too much yarn to make this stitch. You only need to know how to do a chain stitch and a single crochet to produce this pattern. And just a note before you get started that it's probably a really good idea to go up a hook size than your yarn recommends, or to crochet with a loose tension. Let's jump into the tutorial. To get started with this stitch, you're going to create a foundation chain. The foundation chain of this stitch is worked in multiples of 4 plus 3. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I have chained 24 and now I'm going to add 3. And we're going to be working in US terms, so I'm going to say single crochet a lot because that's the only stitch you need to know for this this stitched pattern. And but if you are in the UK, then it is a double crochet, but for the purposes of this tutorial we're going to be working in US terms. So to get started, we're going to skip the first 6 chains, so we don't count the chain on the hook, counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to work a single crochet in that 7th chain from the hook. Okay, and then we're going to chain 4. And then we are going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and work a single crochet in that 4th chain. And then we're just going to repeat our chain 4. And then we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and work in that 4th chain with a single crochet. And that is it until the end of this row. So we're just going to repeat that chain 4 and then skip 3 and work a single crochet in that 4th chain down. This row is the only row that's different to the rest of the pattern. 4. So once you've got this row sorted, you can definitely do the rest of the pattern. But yeah, this is the only row that's different. Every other row will be repeated. 1, 2, 4. In there, one more chain 4. And then into that very last chain. Now to start every single row, you're going to start exactly the same way. You are going to chain 6. So we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then we're going to turn our work, and we're going to be working into these huge chain 4 spaces that we made in the previous row. Every single row starts with a chain 6, and from here on out every single row will work exactly the same as this row. So you're going to insert your hook into that big chain 4 space, create a single crochet, sorry. Then we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're just going to work a single crochet into the next chain 4 space. 1, ooh, I've caught the yarn, 2, 3 and 4, and then a single crochet into that next chain 4 space. 1, 2, 3 and 4 into that next one. So it's a really easy stitch, and it's a great stitch for things like market bags or like shopping bags, things like that. It works really, really well. And I'm using a cotton in my tutorial today, so you can see how it works up. If you were to make those things, cotton's probably would be a yarn of choice. So once you've done your single crochet into your very last space, you're going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then we're going to turn our work, and just like before, we are going to make those single crochets into our chain 4 spaces from the previous row. So make sure you're still going into that first big space, even though you've just chained 6, we do need to work in there. So once we've done our single crochet, we need to chain 4 and work into our next space. Chain 4 and work into our next space, and that's it. That is the stitch. So what I'm going to do is I am going to work my swatch up a bit so you can see what it looks like on a bigger scale. But just remember that it's a chain 6 at the end or at the beginning of every row, and then it's a single crochet into each chain 4 space that you made, and that's it for the whole pattern. So I'll meet you back in a couple of moments once I have created a bigger swatch, and I'll see you there. So I've gone ahead and worked up my swatch a little bit more, so as you can see it makes a nice kind of diamondy mesh shape, which is why it's called the diamond mesh stitch. It is a stitch that will need blocking if you're having it as a panel like this by itself. So if you're going to use it, I don't know why you would use it as a dishcloth, but for an example, if you're going to just have it like this and not attach it like a bag would be attached at the side or worked in the round, etc., then you would need to block this stitch. But yeah, I hope that gives you a really good insight to what the stitch will look like when it's made a bit larger. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'll see you back soon for more.